So Dan, if I don't like my current apartment, maybe don't get along with the landlord or something, can I just move out and stop paying rent?
No, you cannot just leave and stop paying rent. If you have a lease, you're responsible for paying any remaining months on the lease if you move out early. In other words, if you have 3 months left on your lease and you leave without paying, the landlord can sue you in court for that 3 months worth of rent.
What if I or my landlord finds someone else to take my place?
If you move out early, the landlord is required to make reasonable efforts to find another tenant. But assuming the landlord makes a reasonable effort to re-rent the unit, you are on the hook for any rent until the new tenant moves in. If you have a lot of months left on your lease, the landlord may let you out early if you talk to her or him and give plenty of notice.
Now, let's imagine that I signed a 1-year lease and it just expired. Do I have to move out immediately?
Unless you sign a new lease or the landlord tells you otherwise, yearly leases turn into month-to-month leases when they expire. This means that either you or the landlord can terminate the lease by giving notice to the other at least 30 days before the next day rent is due.
So if my rent is due on the 1st of the month and the landlord gives me a 30-day notice on the 15th, I can't be forced to move out until the end of the next month?
That is correct. Similarly, if you give a 30-day notice on the 15th of the month, when your rent is due on the 1st, you are responsible for all of the next month's rent.
Now, if I give a notice and I'm supposed to move out by the end of the month, what do I do if I need to stay a few extra days to find a new place?
You do not have a legal right to stay in your place after the date in which you said you would move out, but unless the landlord has rented the apartment to someone else, she or he may let you stay an extra couple of days or weeks if you talk about it first and agree to pay partial rent. However, if the landlord does not agree to this and you stay anyway, you could be responsible for 1.5 times your actual rent for the days you stay in the apartment past your move-out date.
Do you have any tips I should know before moving out?
Basically, you should try to leave the apartment reasonably clean and in as good a condition as when you found it. Take some pictures so you can prove this if you end up going to court. You cannot be required to shampoo the carpets or wash the walls unless you did any damage that goes beyond the normal use. These are considered the responsibility of the landlord. Some landlords will do a move-out inspection, likely using the same form as when you moved in. Make sure you agree with any new damages that the landlord is writing down on the form. If you do not, again, take pictures to use in court.
Now, is this when I get my security deposit back?
If you or the landlord have given proper notice to move out, the landlord is required to mail you within 14 days after you move out any remaining security deposit after deducting for unpaid rent or for damage that goes beyond normal wear and tear. So make sure that the landlord has your new address to send your security deposit to. The landlord is also required to give you a written itemized statement of any deductions from your security deposit. The landlord has 30 days to mail you your remaining security deposit if you fail to live up to your obligations as a tenant, such as by causing excessive damages to the apartment.
Now, you mentioned the term normal wear and tear. What does that mean?
Normal wear and tear means any deterioration that is caused by ordinary use of the apartment and the things in it. If you cause additional damage, even if it is accidental, you can be charged for it. You cannot and should not be charged for any damage that is the landlord's fault.
What if my security deposit does not cover the damage that I caused to the apartment?
In that case, the landlord can sue you for any remaining damages, likely in small claims court.
What if the landlord just does not return my security deposit?
If the landlord does not return your security deposit within the required time, you can sue the landlord for twice the amount of security deposit that is withheld.
Thanks. I think I'm ready to move out now.